the United States, known for its wealth, prosperity, and global influence, is experiencing a quiet but significant decline in several states. Beneath the surface of economic growth and technological advancements, deep-seated issues are threatening the stability and future of specific regions. While some states continue to thrive, others are grappling with economic stagnation, crumbling infrastructure, and social challenges that could lead to long-term decline. These difficulties may not be obvious at first, but they pose real threats to the future of these states and the well-being of their residents. Now, without further ado, like and subscribe as we look at the top 10 collapsing U.S. states. 10. California. The nation's most populous state, has faced significant challenges over the past decade that threaten its future stability. The state's high cost of living, driven by astronomical real estate prices, has forced many residents to relocate. Homelessness is at record levels, exacerbated by an ongoing housing crisis that policymakers struggle to address effectively. Additionally, wildfires, fueled by climate change and poor forest management, have wreaked havoc on local communities and infrastructure. Economically, while California boasts a massive GDP thanks to industries like technology and entertainment, income inequality has widened dramatically. Middle and lower-income families are struggling with stagnant wages and rising costs, leading to increased economic stress. The state's progressive tax structure, reliant on high-income earners, makes its revenue stream particularly volatile. Political polarization and tension over policies such as stricter environmental regulations and pandemic measures have only deepened divides. With its complex challenges, from economic disparity to natural disasters, California's path forward is fraught with uncertainty, raising questions about its long-term viability. 9. Illinois. Home to the third-largest city in the U.S., Chicago, is grappling with severe financial and social issues. The state's pension crisis is one of the most severe in the nation, with unfunded liabilities reaching billions of dollars. This fiscal mismanagement has placed a heavy burden on taxpayers and led to cuts in essential services like education and public safety. Additionally, Illinois has been experiencing population decline for years, as residents seek more affordable living conditions and lower taxes in neighboring states. The economic challenges are compounded by political gridlock that hinders effective solutions. Chicago, while a major economic hub, struggles with persistent crime and socioeconomic disparity, which tarnish the state's broader reputation and impact its economic potential. Infrastructure in Illinois, particularly outside the major metropolitan areas, requires substantial investment. While the state has a diverse economy that includes finance, manufacturing, and agriculture, the weight of financial mismanagement, high taxes, and out-migration threaten its long-term stability. 8. Mississippi. Mississippi has long struggled with deep-rooted economic and social issues that threaten its stability. The state consistently ranks near the bottom in key economic indicators such as median household income, educational attainment, and employment opportunities. A significant portion of the population lives below the poverty line, and the state's economic growth has been sluggish. Public education in Mississippi suffers from underfunding, leading to poor outcomes and a lack of skilled workers, which stymies potential investment and job creation. Healthcare access is another major concern, as many rural areas face hospital closures and limited medical services, contributing to poor health outcomes and higher rates of preventable diseases. The state's infrastructure is also in dire need of repair, with outdated roads, bridges, and water systems that have become increasingly strained. Natural disasters, such as hurricanes and floods, further compound these problems, disrupting communities and draining already limited resources. While there have been efforts to boost economic development through initiatives like tax incentives and small business support, these measures have not been sufficient to reverse long-term trends. Without significant investment in education, healthcare, and infrastructure, Mississippi's challenges will continue to grow. 7. Hawaii. Hawaii faces significant economic and social challenges that put the state at risk. The state's economy is heavily reliant on tourism, which accounts for a substantial portion of revenue and employment. While tourism has been beneficial, it makes Hawaii highly susceptible to global economic downturns, natural disasters, and geopolitical events that impact travel. The COVID-19 pandemic underscored this vulnerability, leading to widespread job losses and economic hardship. Beyond tourism, Hawaii struggles with diversifying its economy, which can limit opportunities for sustainable long-term growth. The cost of living in Hawaii is among the highest in the United States, driven by expensive housing, high import costs for goods, and the general cost of maintaining an island economy. This puts significant pressure on residents, leading to outmigration as people seek more affordable living conditions on the mainland. Housing affordability is a particularly severe issue. Many native Hawaiians and long-term residents are being priced out of their communities due to rising real estate prices and a booming vacation rental market. Climate change poses an existential threat, with rising sea levels, increased storm activity, and coastal erosion threatening homes and infrastructure. Access to fresh water and sustainable energy solutions are additional concerns as resources become more strained. To secure its future, Hawaii must focus on economic diversification, sustainable development, and housing reform, while addressing environmental challenges through proactive policies that protect its unique ecosystems and ensure resilience against climate change impacts. 6. Alabama. Alabama faces a range of economic and social challenges that jeopardize its future. The state's economy has historically been reliant on manufacturing and agriculture, sectors that have experienced fluctuations due to technological advances and global competition. Poverty rates in Alabama remain among the highest in the nation, with significant disparities between urban and rural areas. Educational attainment lags behind national averages, impacting the state's ability to attract and retain businesses that require a skilled workforce. Healthcare access is another pressing issue. Many rural communities face shortages of medical professionals and facilities, contributing to poorer health outcomes. Infrastructure, including roads and public transit, requires modernization to support both current and future economic growth. Additionally, environmental concerns such as water pollution and vulnerability to severe weather events present ongoing challenges that strain state resources. While Alabama has made some progress in areas like automotive manufacturing and aerospace, these gains have not been enough to offset broader systemic issues. Without comprehensive reforms in education, healthcare, and economic development, Alabama risks falling further behind in terms of national competitiveness and quality of life for its residents. 5. Louisiana. Louisiana's future is clouded by a series of entrenched challenges that affect its economic and social stability. The state has one of the highest poverty rates in the country, and economic inequality is pervasive. Louisiana's economy has long been reliant on the oil and gas industry, which, while significant, is subject to market fluctuations and environmental scrutiny. The state's vulnerability to natural disasters, such as hurricanes and flooding, further exacerbates economic and social pressures, frequently displacing residents and causing billions of dollars in damage. Public education in Louisiana is underfunded, leading to low graduation rates and limited opportunities for workforce development. The healthcare system, particularly in rural areas, struggles to meet the needs of the population, which suffers from high rates of obesity, diabetes, and other chronic health conditions. Political challenges, including corruption and budget mismanagement, have hindered the state's ability to implement effective reforms. While New Orleans and Baton Rouge serve as economic and cultural hubs, their growth has not been sufficient to uplift the entire state. Significant investment in education, healthcare, and climate resilience is essential to alter Louisiana's current trajectory. 4. Missouri. Missouri faces an array of economic and social challenges that jeopardize its long-term stability. The state's economy is unevenly distributed, with urban areas like St. Louis and Kansas City displaying moderate growth, while rural regions struggle with persistent economic stagnation and population decline. This urban-rural divide exacerbates issues such as income inequality and access to essential services. Manufacturing and agriculture, two key economic drivers for Missouri, are vulnerable to fluctuations in global markets and environmental changes. As technological advances shift job markets, many communities face difficulties adapting to new economic realities, resulting in limited employment opportunities and wage growth. The state's infrastructure needs considerable attention, with reports indicating aging bridges, roads, and public utilities in dire need of repair or replacement. This not only affects economic growth but also poses safety concerns for residents. Missouri's education system is another critical area of concern. Public schools in lower-income regions often face funding shortages, leading to lower student performance and reduced future workforce competitiveness. Public health is also a pressing issue, as the state battles high rates of obesity, diabetes, and opioid abuse, particularly in more impoverished areas where healthcare access is limited. Without targeted investments in infrastructure, education, and healthcare, Missouri risks deepening these challenges, threatening its overall growth and quality of life. Addressing these problems requires coordinated efforts that prioritize equitable development and comprehensive public policy reforms. 3. Nevada. Nevada's economy is highly dependent on tourism, gaming, and entertainment, especially in major cities like Las Vegas and Reno. This dependency makes the state extremely vulnerable to economic downturns. The COVID-19 pandemic illustrated this risk when visitor numbers plummeted, causing Nevada's unemployment rate to surge to one of the highest in the nation. The state's economy is further challenged by a lack of diversification, which leaves it exposed to similar future disruptions. Additionally, Nevada faces significant environmental concerns, primarily linked to water scarcity. The prolonged drought in the Southwest has severely impacted the Colorado River, a primary water source for the state. This has implications for residential water supply, agricultural needs, and industrial use, creating a pressing need for sustainable water management solutions. Infrastructure in Nevada also struggles to keep up with rapid population growth, leading to strains on public services and transit systems. On the educational front, Nevada ranks low nationally, with underfunded schools and poor student outcomes contributing to a less competitive workforce. Addressing these interconnected challenges will require strategic investments in economic diversification, enhanced water conservation efforts, and improvements in public education and infrastructure to secure a stable and prosperous future for Nevada. 2. Michigan. Michigan faces a complex blend of economic, environmental, and social challenges. While cities like Detroit symbolize resilience and reinvention, many regions across the state struggle with job losses, population decline, and economic stagnation. Historically reliant on the auto industry, Michigan's economy has diversified to some extent but remains susceptible to downturns in manufacturing and international trade tensions. The state's public infrastructure has garnered national attention for its inadequacies, exemplified by the Flint water crisis, which underscored issues in maintaining safe and reliable public services. Additionally, many roads, bridges, and public buildings are in dire need of upgrades, straining state and local budgets. Michigan's educational system exhibits stark disparities. Wealthier districts often thrive, while poorer, urban, and rural schools face chronic underfunding and lower achievement rates. Environmental challenges are also prominent, as the Great Lakes, a critical resource for Michigan, face pollution, climate change impacts, and invasive species that threaten the ecosystem and local economies. The state also contends with a significant opioid crisis, exacerbating public health strains and highlighting gaps in mental health and addiction services. To counter these multifaceted challenges, Michigan needs comprehensive strategies involving infrastructure investment, educational reform, public health initiatives, and environmental stewardship. 1. Kentucky. Kentucky's economic and social struggles make it one of the most vulnerable states in the U.S. The state's economy is heavily reliant on manufacturing, coal mining, and agriculture, sectors that have faced significant disruption in recent years. Coal, once a cornerstone of Kentucky's prosperity, has seen a dramatic decline due to environmental policies and the global shift toward cleaner energy sources. This has led to widespread job losses and economic downturns in coal-dependent communities. Compounding these challenges is the state's high poverty rate and relatively low educational attainment, which limit opportunities for economic growth and innovation. Public health is another major concern, as Kentucky has some of the highest rates of smoking, obesity, and related chronic diseases in the nation. Infrastructure also poses a challenge. Aging roads and bridges, particularly in rural areas, require significant investment that the state budget struggles to accommodate. Although there have been attempts to diversify the economy, such as fostering the bourbon and automotive industries, progress has been slow. Without significant reforms in education, healthcare, and economic policy, Kentucky risks continued economic stagnation and social decline.